Today I'm going to show you guys how to disassemble your Dell laptop, and on this particular one it's the model number PP36l, and on this particular one, as soon as you turn it on, the screen goes black, there's no image, and I'm going to show you guys how to fix it too. And the series, it's an 1520 VOSTRO Intel Core Duo. So let's get into it and disassemble this baby. So first thing first, you're gonna flip it over, remove the battery by sliding this clip over here. I already removed it. Alright, next you want to remove the cover for the RAMs and the heatsink, which is right here, by removing 2 screws, and then just slide your finger or flat screwdriver right in the crack right there and lift it up, and it will come out. Next you want to remove the, hold up, let's put some more light. You want to remove the cover for the hard drive, which is 1 screw and the 2nd screw right there, and then you want to slide it towards in front of the laptop a little bit and then lift it up, and there you have your hard drive. Grab this kind of flap to the hard drive, slide it a little bit to the outside, and once you get this space right there, you can go ahead and lift up your hard drive. Next you want to remove the RAM by unclipping these 2 clips to the side and removing the RAM on 45-degree angle. Unhook the fan cable. Also unscrew the screw right in the middle right here, that's for the CD-ROM, and just grab this metal and pull it towards the CD-ROM, and then you can just remove the CD-ROM right there. You want to go ahead and unscrew, remove all the screws on the top plastic cover, which is from the one corner start, go all around, removing every one of those. I think I'm only missing one I have to remove, so go ahead and do that. I won't be able to remove this one because the screw plastic is broken inside, so I'll leave that in. Alright, remove the fan by removing 3 screws, 4, 1 on this side, right on the middle, and 1 right by the pipe. You can lift up the fan. Now remove the heatsink by unscrewing the 4 screw that is holding it, and then lift it up, slide it out. Now you might want to remove any old thermal paste, anything that it's in there, with an alcohol. The CPU thermal paste is kinda still good. I'm just gonna add on top of it. Remove the cables for the Wi-Fi, just unhook them, and try to pass them through this end. I doubt that we need to do this, but yeah, just in case, because we're gonna still flip it over. Once you unscrew everything, also remove the Wi-Fi board as for the repair, because we don't want to heat it up. Remove the CPU by unscrewing the, like this screw right there, just rotate it to the where it says the unlock logo. I don't know if you guys can see it. So put the screw right there and twist it 180 degrees and just remove the CPU. Alright, now I'm gonna flip it over. Also remove any extras plastic that you have on this SD card reader. Open the screen. Open it all the way back. You want to put your screwdriver right under the hinge on this cover and go ahead and slowly lift it up. Do it half the way through up to here, and then do it from the other end, so that way you don't stress the plastic, and you can just remove the cover for the top area of the keyboard. Now you want to remove the keyboard by unscrewing two screws, one on this end, one on the other side. Alright. Next, lift up the keyboard, pull it towards the screen, and grab the connector, lift up the connector 90 degrees, and just the ribbon cable will come out. And that's how you if you want to replace your keyboard, that's as far as you go. Alright, next, if you want to remove the touch button right here, it's here, and the on off switch right there, and they are connected with the one flex cable that goes to the board. Unhook that, remove that, and also remove the touch, mouse touch right here. It has 4 cable, that means it's an USB one. Also remove the speakers on this side, and we need to pull out the cables for the Wi-Fi. Just pull them out. Unhook the webcam. Alright. Now you don't want to yank the cable for the screen. You just want to gently pull it out from the sides. Let me show you guys. So I try not to yank the cable, try to help it out to ease the pain, I'll say. Slowly just pull it out, helping with the plastic. Alright, mostly we're done here. Now we're gonna unscrew the hinges. There's one here. Let me see if you guys can see this. Right there are 2 screws on each side of the hinge. I already removed one here, so remove these 2, and also these 2 over here. Now lift up the screen, and that's your LCD. Put it to one side. And now we're gonna unscrew few screws on the plastic cover on the top, one right there and one right here. Alright. Next, you want to grab your guitar pick and put it right on top of between the 2 last plastics right there, and just move your way around and go ahead and lift up slowly, and just lift it up and it will come out. You flip it over, thus you have your touchpad. If you have any problem, it's really simple, just 1 screw and 2 screw down there. Your speakers, 1 on each end. Now down here you want to remove the cable for an extra USB port. Just pull it out. Unscrew the screw right here in the middle, and there should be one right here where the white arrow is, and one right in the corner here. So go ahead and remove those. I only have one here. And now lifted it up slowly. Also remove this plastic cover. And the motherboard should come out pretty easy. Now, the problem here, it's on this chip right here that does the video chip, and it's kinda chip for the bridging. So some of the solderings underneath here, they are disconnected, so we need to reconnect those solderings. In order to reconnect those solderings, we need to apply a special flux underneath, not any type of flux or any liquid flux. It's a clear flux that we need to apply, and we're gonna isolate the area, and we're gonna heat it up to 220 degrees for about 30 to 40 seconds. And then we're gonna let it cool down on a room temperature, and that will be it, and we're gonna test it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the battery for the BIOS, because we don't want to heat up the battery, that's a bad thing. Alright, and next, I always recommend you guys grab your foil paper tape and cut four of those. Once you have this ones ready, this part is really important, and most people, they mess it up. If you want to put your foil duct tape in here, aluminum duct tape, so you don't want to put the duct tape, the glue part, right straight over here, because you're gonna block the holes, so it's not gonna make a nice contact with the pins for the CPU, and you're gonna have a problem. So I always put a paper right there, the same paper that you took from the back, put it right on top, and then put the foil right beside it. The rest doesn't matter, the RAMs, they don't matter. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab the special flux that we have, and any kind of syringe, preferably not used syringe. You're gonna grab about few drops, just really tiny amount, and you're gonna apply right under the chip. Apply from every four corners, and that's it. Now we're gonna go ahead and heat it up. If you have a heat gun, set it up at 240, as the heat always drops down a little bit, and about 3 to 4 centimeters away. And then we apply for 4 or 5 minutes. And if you're using your hair dryer at home, you have to put on a full heat for about 5 to 6 minutes, I would say, maybe even more, depending what kind of hair dryer you have. So I'm just gonna put this on the hot air station, and I'll be back right after this. Alright guys, now I did apply, and after heating up, I washed the board in the alcohol, in the ultrasonic tank, and for about 5 to 10 minutes on 60 degrees Celsius. Now we're gonna put it back and try it out. So let's go ahead and grab the CPU, place the CPU on the socket, make sure the arrows are aligning with the same directions, and rotate the screw so you lock the CPU in place. Grab the bottom cover. This laptop is broken parts. Alright, so how does it go? It goes like this. Put in the VGA side first up there, and next put this side down, and alright, now plug in the cable, put the screw, This laptop is missing screws, so I'm gonna put as many as I can. So there's one goes right there, and another one goes up here, and the other one goes down here. So there are 3 in total, 1, 2, and 3. So I'm just gonna put this one because I don't have an extra screws to put there. Somebody else opened this one before and they didn't bother putting all the screws. Alright, now grab the top part, place it on top, put the bottom side first, then make sure the audio jacks are in place, and then push down the top side. And grab the screws and put the one in the middle, the one by the CD-ROM. Now connect the mouse pad. Connect the on-off switch button right there. The speakers. And once you got all this, you want to grab the screen. Put down the screen in place. There you go. Put the few screws on them. So put the LCD screen in, the cable. Make sure the cable goes right in. Don't stress the cables too much. Be gentle with them. They're really fragile. And depending if your laptop is old, it's even more fragile. Try to use a flat screwdriver to help you guide the cable. Run the cable. Alright, we are pretty much done here. I'm gonna put the keyboard on top. Lift the hinge for the connector. Push the cable in. Pull down the lock. And put the bottom side of the keyboard down first. And put the 2 screws right on keyboard. Now you can go ahead and put the top side. Remember, you have to put 2 screws in here. I don't have an extra. Actually, I do have one here. I rather put the screws for the hinges rather than missing something else somewhere else that is unnecessary. Put the covers. Make sure you open the screen all the way back as much as you can. Don't force it. And close the top part. Flip it over. Alright. Run the cable for the Wi-Fi all around. Grab your Wi-Fi board. Plug it in 45-degree angle. Put the black with black, the white with white, and you should be fine right there. Alright, grab the RAM. We're gonna do a test. For testing, you don't need to put the heatsink, but for the heck of it, I'm gonna go ahead and put it. I just want to see if I'm getting any screen, and if I do, I'm gonna remove this again, the heatsink, to put the new thermal paste. Plug in the fan. Just put 1 screw for the fan for now. This one is a short one because I use the screw in the other side. Right there. You don't need to put the hard drive or anything like that. Just flip it over. Connect the. Let's see where the connections is. It should be somewhere in the back, right there. And now let's see. I get a power on light, and I do not get any screen. I'm gonna switch over the RAM to a different place. Maybe you have to turn it off a few times. It might not detect the RAM. So even the RAM, sometimes you switch the RAM, they place it for the RAM, it will start working. So put the RAM on the top side. Run the test again. And there we go. It's working. So I'm gonna turn it off before I overheat it, because I do need to put the thermal paste on top. So whenever you do some repairs, don't worry if it doesn't turn on. Always make sure you try different RAMs and switch the places for the RAM, and eventually it will work. Right now there's a trick to this one, because I do not want to put a thermal pad right on top of the GPU, because there's enough clearance right between the GPU and the heatsink. There's like about 2 millimeters, and for that gap I don't want to put a thermal pad. Thermal pads are horrible. They're the worst thing to put it on top of the GPU. So never put a thermal pad on top of the GPU. I do not recommend you. And the GPU should have a direct contact with a copper metal, not with a different type of metal, because it will absorb the heat even slower, this type of metal. So the company, they do this in purpose. They put different type of metals in different brands. In the higher ends, they just put directly with a copper, like they do with the CPU. So I'm actually cleaning everything. I clean the GPU nicely. Once you clean it, do not touch with your fingers. Now we're gonna grab the Arctic Silver 5, and we're gonna place one drop. Let's see if this one is working. One tiny drop on the CPU, and a little bit on the GPU. On the GPU, I like to smush it around. Alright, once I do that, I'm gonna grab a copper shim, and the copper shims are like something like this. And these are the about 0.5 millimeters. So I will be needing like a couple of this to reach my desire, but I should have a thicker one somewhere over here. And there you go, this is a thicker one. So I'm guessing with this one it should be fine. Let me see if I have any other thicker ones. Yeah, there's one over here. This one looks more promising. So you gotta grab again your cleaning towel and clean this copper, and make sure you clean it nicely. It doesn't have to be shiny, you just have to be clean. Now that we clean this one up, we put the thermal paste on top of the GPU. If you want, you can go ahead and grab a Kapton tape and cover the capacitors right on top of the chip. But the Kapton tape looks just like this, and I do not need to put a Kapton tape because I'm sure about my work, and I know that this copper shim is not gonna touch those capacitors. It's gonna just sit right flush with the die on the video chip. right there. And I am gonna apply just a little bit in between these two squares in the middle. Not too much, not too little, just about right. Just dab it in at some point. There you go, just like that. It looks too much in the video, but it's not much. Let me zoom in so you guys can see the amount I put in. So it's really just pretty much dabbing in. So yeah. Alright, now you're gonna grab the heatsink, put down the fan. And if you can see now, it's nice and tight in there. The aluminum sheet is not moving. It slides, but it's really tight. And also the company, I don't know why they do not put a screws for here. On some models they do have a screw, so actually pushes down the heatsink towards the GPU. And they put this kind of cushion things. They don't even have any, and they're not even hard enough to push it with the cover. They're not for vibration or anything like that. So I'm gonna put a thicker ones and a little harder foam. So let's go ahead and put the fan in. Put the screw for the fan. You also have to put the screw right on this side of the fan, as I'm missing few. I'm trying to save some for the cover. Alright, now we're gonna go ahead and let's put the plastic things in here. Turn it the other way around. Alright, put the sticker for the RAM, just shove it somewhere underneath there. It's not a big deal, it's not gonna burn or anything. It's supposed to be there. Put the fake SD card cover. Right, let's go ahead and put all the screws. Put the corner sides first. Grab the CD-ROM, put the CD-ROM in. Put the screw for the CD-ROM. Alright. You're not gonna put the hard drive in right now because we still have to go inside the BIOS and set the date and time. I do not want to turn it on and turn it off while the hard drive is in. That's really bad for the heads of the hard drive heads, for the platter heads. But as soon as you turn on the laptop, there's platters right inside the hard drive. They start spinning, and while you're turning it off and on and off directly, that's really bad for those platters. So let's go grab some stuff to put right on top of this. Alright, I got these paddings. I think with these two, I think this is even more. Let's put the cover on. See how it holds. Maybe it's too much. I don't want to put too much. Oh, that's just fine. That's just fine. I did that, so that will keep a pressure right on the heat sink, so that's fine with me, and it should be fine. So let's put that on, put the screws, put the screw for this side, let's flip it over. Your charger, plug in the charger, and let's go ahead and set the date and time. And this is how you do your own service, fix your own stuff if you want to. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. If you have any requests, subscribe and I'll take any request. Alright, so that's the date and time. While I do that, I'm just gonna check something else. This firmware of the BIOS, it does not have a sensor for the temperature, but it should be fine. Alright, so this is how you do your own service, guys. If you liked it, thumbs up, and think about subscribing. It really helps me out, motivates me to make more videos, help you guys out to do your own services. Also, as soon as I get to a certain point of the subscribers, I'll try to do a prize giveaways. So if you want to be one of the winners, just subscribe and hopefully you win. Thanks for watching, guys.